Are you ready?
Kick it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of Hardheaded. With me today is always Mr. Matt Amos, sitting right across from me to my right, Mr. Chet Sears, and I am Troy, Three-Shot Trussell. Welcome to the show, everyone. Today we are doing a top three. Since I know a lot of you are out there Christmas shopping, we're going to do a top three favorite presents we got as kids. Then we're going to jump in to a good word after that. But first, what is on your mind, Mr. Chet Sears?
I've got several things on my mind. Well, two. Well, I guess it gets three. I was watching
top three things on Chet's mind.
One of the YouTube channels that I subscribe to is this YouTube channel called Live Local.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one.
You know about that?
I do know about that one.
Well, it's run by my brother-in-law.
Oh, you mean
Troy?
This guy?
Yeah. The last video that I watched before we recorded this was about chili and cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I don't want anybody to misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not making a statement on chili and cinnamon rolls. I'm just not. Like I'm for or against. No, I'm not one way or the other.
So this isn't like the Grass Mafia.
I'll give it a try. But there's two things. Number one, everybody that says chili and cinnamon rolls is a thing around here, there are people that have been raised here that don't know about it. So you can't say it's a thing if people have never heard what you're talking about before in your life and they've lived here all their life.
It's a Midwestern thing. If you're on the in crowd, I guess. I don't know.
Which brings me to my second point. Kansas is not in the Midwest.
We're in the South.
No, we're not in the South either.
We're in the middle. We're just in the middle.
We're not in the middle. And I'm making a statement now. Remove Kansas from the Midwest. Like you can't say Midwest and Kansas anymore. It's not in the Midwest. It's not the same culture as the Midwestern. What are the Midwestern states?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've always just thought of Kansas as being Midwest.
Because they've indoctrinated you through the public school system.
So what would be
Midwestern states?
No, what would be the habits, I guess, or the things that make a place a Midwestern state?
Geography.
We have that because we are.
But we're not.
In the Midwest.
We're not. When Midwest became a thing, that was before we as a nation had reached all the way to the Pacific. So Midwest includes Ohio.
No, because
Midwest includes
the East Coast is no West, and then Midwest, and then the West.
We were the West. Back when they said this, the geography wise, this was West.
I still whatever. So
from a cultural perspective, what is Kansas?
They're thinking
the railroad stopped in Kansas. That's as far west as the railroad went. It wasn't Midwest then. All the cattle ranchers would bring up stuff through the Chisholm Trail to catch the train in Wichita or Kansas City before that. The Santa Fe Trail.
So you're saying we used to be in the Midwest?
No, I'm just saying it's a misnomer. We're not the Midwest. And all this cultural stuff that everybody attributes to Midwest, we're not.
What cultural stuff?
The chili.
Dipping your cinnamon rolls in chili. Have you ever done that, Matt? You've lived here all your life.
Yeah, I've heard about it, but I've never done it. I prefer cornbread.
When did you hear about it?
I don't know, but it's been one of those things that's been just kind of around, but I don't ever.
It's not a thing.
I don't do it.
It's a thing, but it's not like a Midwestern thing. And we're not in the Midwest anyway. I prefer.
You're all over the place.
I prefer. From here on out, we are in the Great Plains. Because if you Google, show me a map of the Midwest, North Dakota is in the Midwestern. That's not.
I don't care one way or the other.
And you don't.
I mean,
and actually,
this
on that
feels
map,
like
I'm gonna Google this.
on that map, you have Northeast, Midwest, West, and South. There's no other regions. That's dumb. And Kansas is considered in the Midwest by these people.
But the Great Plains would not be a directional.
It's a region. It is a region.
And it is not west at all. I just pulled it up on Google. So Midwest Census Region.
I'm telling you.
It's Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, and Nebraska. That's ridiculous.
Because
It's not.
you're looking at it like this as a north and south type of thing, but you're not looking at it.
He's looking at a map.
I'm looking at a map.
He's looking at it.
I understand that you're looking at a map, but you're not.
But it's like all east. It's like north.
It's not.
It's like mid-north.
Because
The mid-north region.
It's not. I'm telling you,
But
Midwest needs to go away.
but there's no north in there. It's just west. So it's a two
But it's
directions.
not-
So it's east or west.
But it's not west.
But to the point in the video, the Live Local video,
Right.
hey, this is a Midwestern thing. My mom was raised in Ohio, which is a part of the Midwest, according to.
Well, not on this. Oh, let me
I'm
see.
telling you, you could say, is Ohio in the Midwest to Google, and it'll tell you yes.
Yes, it is. It wasn't on that list.
So my mom had never heard it. Well, and of course she's not with us, so I can't ask her, but I know it wasn't a thing with her. My cousins that live there don't know about it. So it's not a Midwestern thing because the Midwest is not, we're not a part of it. We're just not. Kansas is a Great Plains state. Our culture.
maybe it's a Kansas thing. but-
What side are you on?
Side of what?
Site. SITE. Excuse me.
BLS.gov.
Oh, Bureau
Labor
of what?
Statistics. U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics.
It's
So
.gov, so it's true.
So they call it they call it the Midwest.
CDC.gov.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
But I'm telling you, Kansas is out of the Midwest. I'm never calling it the Midwest again. It's a Great Plains. It's part of the Great Plains region.
Look, you're not going to come up here from Louisiana and just say, "Oh, you're not in the Midwest anymore."
I am. I
think
just
you should.
did.
Nope.
I just did.
Nope. But your thing is not going to become a thing. Just like chili and cinnamon rolls is not a thing.
It's a thing.
it is a thing.
I'm gonna try it. I'm not gonna knock anybody that does it.
It's a, maybe it's a Kansas tradition.
No. See, and I've lived here my whole life. Like I said, I've heard about it, but I really don't know.
I don't think it's a tradition.
I really don't know anybody
think-
that does it. I think maybe it was somebody that created it that had a restaurant that made cinnamon rolls and had really good
No,
chili.
the
and
rumor is everybody that I've asked, like, where did that originate? Well, it was all the way back with school lunches. Any day that they served chili, the dessert that day was always cinnamon rolls.
Ah.
Now, to prove that wrong, like that's a thing. What did they serve? What was the side dish they served with pizza at the schools?
I don't remember.
Corn.
I don't remember either.
You got the rectangular pizza. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
And corn. Every time. Corn and pizza isn't a thing. So the school,
You can put your corn on pizza. I'm going to put corn on pizza and see what it tastes like.
that's a Midwestern thing. And it started in the schools.
I'm going to call it a Great Plains thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that's what they did for me in Louisiana, though. So that's a.
Well, the server, we were at the Monarch where we shot that video, and the server was like, "Oh, y'all are doing that? We do that every Thanksgiving."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that's
cool.
awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But it's not like you can't attribute it to the whole entire Midwest or people in Illinois and what's another Midwestern state?
Oh, here, I got them right here.
Tennessee.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. They're eating cheese with their chili, not cinnamon rolls.
Right. I ate cheese in my chili, too.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, you trying to find somewhere to argue with me?
No, I'm trying to find the history.
Well, you heard
But it says the chili cinnamon roll union seems to be most popular in Nebraska, Colorado, Utah, Montana.
Well, those are all
and
Midwestern states.
Those are Western states.
No, those are Midwestern states.
No, those are Western states.
Did you know that on one of the websites I was on that all of eastern Montana is considered Midwest?
That's not correct.
That's what I'm saying. We got to get rid of
It
it.
stops at Kansas, and then Colorado's the west.
No.
That's where it starts.
I would say that the Colorado culture in the eastern part of the state, which is in the Great Plains, Troy, that culture aligns more with western Kansas than western Colorado aligns with eastern Colorado. So the Great Plains, I think, should be our own culture, our own region, and should secede from the Midwest.
Okay.
And then we could include Oklahoma, because right now, Oklahoma's not part of the Midwest. It's part of the
South.
But I've been to Oklahoma. I was born in Oklahoma. I've been to Oklahoma a lot. It's not the South.
No, it's not.
If anything,
Did you hear that? Chet's from Oklahoma.
If anything, it's if I ever make it to be president of the United States, there will be birthplace of Chet Sears signed somewhere in Oklahoma.
I don't see that happening.
So I got one
Not
article
with running
here
with you characters.
from Better Homes and Gardens.
Yes, the authority on all things cinnamon rolls and chili.
It basically it's saying that this thing is apparently very popular.
Define that, because people don't know about it.
Well, I'm just saying it says the cafeteria school thing. And then it says
Excuse me.
says those cafeteria lunches from their childhood were fondly remembered in adulthood, and now chili and cinnamon rolls are a staple meal in homes all over the Midwest. Now, see,
What school lunch
now
do you
see-
fondly remember?
that's not one that I fondly remember because I don't remember it.
Fondly remember any school lunch.
I don't remember
I do
much of them.
I remember the main meals. I remember the pizza.
Yeah,
remember
but-
we had like pizza one day, chicken another day.
and that, the chocolate milk and whatever, but nobody's looking back on school lunches thinking, man,
Hey, did y'all have the bag chocolate milk?
no,
No.
that was carton.
We had bags, and they looked like implants. I'm not kidding. They were like see-through bags of white and chocolate milk.
How did you drink them?
Well, you kind of like Capri Sun, but you just
You had a straw?
You had a straw, and you just put it where there's all air at the top, and you hold it and you stick the straw in it.
That had
It
to
was
have been
a
a disaster.
bag of milk.
You
That
couldn't
was
set it down. Could you set it down after you
You could
drank?
kind of like set it there, and it would kind of stand up. And it was the plastic in it was shaped kind of like a triangle,
Yeah.
so it would sit.
So they have that in Haiti. That's how they serve water.
Ah.
Well, not everywhere, but there's a lot of water in.
Yeah, we had the bags of milk at Captain Shreve High School
Yeah.
back in the 90s.
You fondly remember bags of milk?
Fondly remember.
You want to hasten back to the days
There was
of bagged
lots
milk?
of jokes around fondling the milk.
Those are some nice milk bags.
Oh, my God. You guys are
Lots
horrible.
of jokes.
So then,
That's that innuendo that people are talking about.
That's right. Nice.
the other thing, I was at
Nobody cares, but can we all agree on at least chili and cornbread?
Well, yeah. I put Fritos in my chili.
Fritos is my go-to,
Mine too.
Yeah, but you can have.
but cornbread's
I'm not putting a cinnamon roll in my chili, but I would dip the cornbread in.
I would try. I do it like you did in the video, Troy, and dip it.
Yeah.
Or well, I'd start out with just immediate bite after.
See now that we're talking about that, some of that. What is that Skyline chili?
Yeah, in Ohio. Oh, it's a Midwestern staple, Skyline chili.
Never heard of it.
So
Lived here 10 years.
No, like here, it's not a Midwestern thing. I think that's an Ohio thing.
We don't use Midwestern anymore, Matt. I already.
I'm
declared
still
that.
using it.
No,
I'm going to continue to use it.
Ohio-
you're not
I will-
swaying me.
I
Ohio
will
is
shun you.
Midwestern, according to the government.
But it's not a Midwest. It's an Ohio thing.
It is Ohio.
Oh,
thing.
just Ohio thing, not a Midwestern
I think
thing.
so.
Okay.
So they made this Josh, because he's from Ohio. When we were deer hunting,
one of our previous guests.
yeah.
Josh Sust.
he made this Skyline dip that had like cream cheese at the bottom, and they put the Skyline chili on, and then you know cheese and whatever. And when I bit into it and ate it, it was not at all what I was suspecting, because it was sweet. So not only do you get like the cheese, but it had like this sweet, almost Now that we're bringing this up, almost a cinnamon roll type of taste.
It puts a brown sugar in it, I bet.
Yes.
Yep.
Somebody mentioned on my, I shared your video, and they mentioned that, some of the recipes that they cook with chili calls for cinnamon in the chili.
Yeah, I put, in my chili that I make at home, I put cinnamon in it. I put coffee in it.
Say that again. Cinnamon in it.
Cinnamon in it.
Cinnamon in it.
I put coffee in it.
Was that what that robot was saying in Star Wars? Cinnamon in it. Cinnamon in it.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Matt, Star Wars was this popular movie franchise.
Still haven't seen it, so I have no idea.
Oh my gosh. Cinnamon, coffee, and cocoa powder. I put in my chili. It's good stuff.
Now, see, I'm more of like I would say a Texas chili kind of guy, except I like beans, and Texas chili doesn't have beans. They don't even consider that chili, but that's a whole nother argument.
Yeah.
But I do like beans in my chili, but I like the Texas flavor. I like the spice. I like the heat. I don't like anything sweet. And so when I hit that skyline, I was like, I could taste the cinnamon. I could taste some type of sugar. And I was like, no, this isn't right. Especially
Was it like a chip dip or a fruit dip?
It was a chip dip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now if you got over the fact that they're calling this chili and you ate it just as some other treat, not calling it chili, it's passable. Like, it's okay.
They also put skyline chili over pasta.
Spaghetti. Yeah. It's like a
Spaghetti is pasta.
yeah, but I'm saying that like
Spaghetti
they do
is a type of pasta.
Yes. So they put it at like a, like, and so it can't be chili if it's on pasta is basically, I guess, where I'm going with that. Because if it's
all
chili,
the people saying that you can't use certain words in the food world.
look, there are some
you
things
cannot-
you can, some things you can't.
No,
But look,
no, you opened up that can. This
Matt,
is the world
Amos
you want to
is
live
the
in.
authority.
This is the world you want to
look,
live in.
Look,
If it's red, it's chili.
oh, it's not red, it's brown, brownish red with the sauce.
What color's chili powder?
It's kind of a reddish brown.
Red.
It's pretty, I don't know. It's crimson.
What color's the
It
chili?
is not crimson. Crimson is bright red.
I don't even know why we're here. 'cause I have
Crimson's a
something
little
else to talk
darker.
about.
Like chili powder is
All right,
about the
number
color
3.
of this desk.
No, it's not.
Get out of here. You don't know what you're talking about.
Depends on what kind of chili powder you're getting. Buying
Like,
or
I guess if
making.
you're just seasoning it with paprika, I mean, that's red.
That's in chili powder and paprika's in my chili.
So that's why yours might be red because it's colored like that. You got some little saffron threads too.
You know what's
No.
really good is buy those packets of Williams chili seasoning.
Nope.
Dump a few of those.
Never heard
in.
of it.
It's delicious.
Is it a Midwestern thing?
Probably.
It probably is, but Williams is pretty good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
It's just a chili packet,
Really?
or they sell, but it's basically a chili powder, but it's got some other stuff.
Is it
in
like hamburger helper for chili?
No?
You just put that in there and then meat?
No, it's like, you have your taco seasoning pouches.
Yeah.
You could go buy. You go buy one of these.
But my taco seasoning pouches, I put taco seasoning and meat and water, and I'm done. So the Williams chili seasoning, do you just put meat and that seasoning and water and you're
So
done?
I use
Oh,
that
no.
as a straight chili powder,
Yeah.
and then I will add my other ingredients like garlic and all that. All my different spices that I'm gonna put in there to kick it up a
Yeah.
notch.
I add a lot more to
I'm
it.
interested in
That Williams is like a base.
the chili.
Cook-off?
need to-
A chili cook-off? Let's do it.
Not necessarily for competition, but just because
Everything's
I
a
like chili,
competition.
so I'm always up to try anybody's chili.
you've had my chili.
The buffalo chili, yeah. It was pretty good.
I like it better with deer or beef because buffalo makes it sweeter.
Sweet, yeah. And I'm not huge on sweet
Yeah.
meat. We've covered that, but
I
yeah,
got
I'd be
a
down for that
special-
because the more chili I have, the better. Matter of fact, we're talking about Christmas is upon us, and growing up, that was always tradition at my house. We did not have cinnamon rolls, but on Christmas Eve, that was our dinner. Dinner was chili. We'd
Yeah.
always have chili on Christmas Eve.
I like it.
Okay. We don't have a special meal for Christmas Eve.
We ought to all get together and have our 3 chilies there.
On Christmas Eve,
No, I don't want to be around you guys on Christmas Eve. Well, you, Matt. I'm going to be around Troy.
You're stuck with me.
you'd have to be.
You can send some chili, though.
No, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Now, I did try. Have you ever had this happen? So I tried a new chili recipe when I was in Montana, and I made it, and it was awesome. But the next day, typically chili gets better.
It got worse.
Yes. Like, it did not taste the same. It almost tasted like straight tomato sauce the next day. It's like almost all the
Like
seasoning.
you should have put it over pasta. Maybe that was the Skyline recipe.
It could be. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're solving some problems. That's the first smart thing you said.
Whatever.
Ever.
Anyway, I know people have, their regions are all. I remember I met somebody that talked about being raised in the deep South, and I was interested, being from Louisiana. Where were you raised? Like North Carolina. I'm like, you have a culture there, but I mean, if you're going to use geography, that's not deep South. You may be deep redneck, but
That would be more hillbilly, not redneck.
there's a lot of redneck in North Carolina. A lot.
I would almost call it more hillbilly.
No. I've spent a lot of time there. Redneck.
Because I know some people.
And North Carolina is not all hills. There's like a region of North Carolina. You have the mountains, and then you have the Piedmonts, and then you have eastern North Carolina, which is still part of the Midwest. I'm kidding. It's not. That's the South.
It's part of the Mid-South.
Maryland is also part of the South. I don't believe that. According to the same website that says that Kansas is part of the Midwest.
Let me look up the southern states.
Yeah. Maryland's one of them.
Well, either
Anyway.
way, but I guess that would go back to the original, maybe the Union states.
That's what I'm saying. This whole part, this was the West back then, and then they incorporated this into the South, in the Midwest.
But is it? But yeah. So I'm guessing as it continued to move west, they said, "Oh, well, this is no longer the West; it's the Midwest."
I think they forgot about us, and they're like, "Well, it's not West anymore, but it should be the Great Plains." In my opinion,
But it's not a direction.
yes, it doesn't matter.
Wow.
You're talking about culture. You're not talking about direction.
What are the states there, Troy?
Some maps will tell you Texas is part of the South, and some maps will tell you Texas is part of the West.
Well, this one has.
I would say that East Texas is part of the South, and that everything else is part of the West.
Well, Texas is big enough to be.
There's a lot of debate over the South because there's a lot of different pictures showing up.
That's
here
right.
with-
I'm not opening up some brand new discussion. I'm just making a declaration. Great Plains.
But
Boom.
and this says deep South. Yeah, I don't agree with these.
I would say the deep South would be Florida, because it's almost as deep south as you can go.
Geographically, but culturally, there's more people from New York that live
Yeah,
there.
this says deep South. Mississippi, Alabama. I get behind that
Yeah.
for sure. But then it says North Carolina, South Carolina, deep South. Those four states are considered deep
But
South.
Georgia isn't.
More than any of them. No, Georgia's like 33%, Florida 21%, Tennessee 27%, Louisiana 32%, and Texas 22%.
That's just weird.
Yeah. That's
Anyway,
weird.
so one of the things, I'm shifting gears here, if you can't tell. One of the pro things with all the COVID stuff is I'm like a personal space guy. You got to give me some space. Like I don't want you all up in my business. And so that's become more culturally accepted in the US during this time. I understand there are cultures that don't have personal space. One of those being in
Japan.
Asia in general. When I spent some time in China, did you know, I'll ask you, did you know that elevators have a bell that rings whenever you go overweight in the car?
No, is that like a thing everywhere?
Everywhere.
Oh, no, I didn't know
You
that.
wouldn't know that in the U.S. because you're with let's just say you're with your family. You've got four people with you, Matt, and you're at a hotel on the second floor and you want to go up to the 8th floor. Elevator comes up and stops. There's 4 people already on it. You're going to be like, I'll wait for the next one.
I'll take the next one, please. Especially with 7 of us.
In China, when I was there, people just kept getting on until the bell rang that you were overweight, and then the last person that got on would step back off.
Oh, wow.
So I've been in cultures where personal space wasn't a thing. Now, when that was happening with me, I would always get a dirty look because they were like, if it wasn't for you, I'd still be able to fit on here because, you know, the people there are very small and I'm, you know, two of them. And so they were like, yeah, it wasn't.
Get this Sasquatch out of here.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a great accent you've got.
That was my Japanese accent.
Yeah, it's not.
No.
You need to work on that.
But anyway, so here in the U.S., it's there's already a little bit of a protective of your personal space, and then with COVID, you know, it seemed to have expanded a little bit. You know, people in line just give you a little bit more space. They're not standing on the 6-foot discs everywhere. But I was at a place just the other day, and my etiquette on drink machines. So if you've got a fountain drink machine, you've got like 4 bays on the left of the ice, 4 bays on the right of the ice.
I see where this is going.
And you're on the right. Does somebody have access to the other drinks on the right?
Yes.
You're okay with that?
Like I will scoot to the side and fill with my left hand if I'm on the right side and be like, hey, hit up these other 3 if you want.
You're cool with that?
Yeah.
If I'm on the right side, don't go to the right side. But the left is yours.
Is there a wall on the other side? Is there like a wall?
That's a good point.
Because if there's a wall over there, I'm probably not going to get in there.
If you could one arm it and like turn your body sideways, I'm okay with that. Like to a certain extent. During COVID times, you just need to back off. Now that changes when you're at a tea dispenser, in my opinion. Tea dispenser requires 2 hands.
Right.
You have to hold your cup and then you have to do the thing. I happen to be in an establishment getting tea where there were 3 tea dispensers side by side touching, which requires this cup.
Yeah. Cup, lever.
Had a dude walk up, rub up against me, and get the tea out of the next one. And I was just not cool with that at all. And I said something, but I did it in a polite way. I was like,
"Oh, you should.
I'm so sorry. I'm in your way. Like I'm filling up my doggone tea here." And he's like, "Oh, don't you worry about it." As if I was in the wrong. I'm like, dude.
I need to get that guy a gift card.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Like, you just don't do that. It's like, let's take some positive things away from all this crazy COVID stuff and don't sidle right next to the dispenser. Give people their space, especially when they're getting their drink. Like, back off.
I guess you never know these days, though.
Never know what.
Just never know who it could be.
I'm just saying and I was just like, this is too much.
I mean,
I'm gonna have to talk
that guy
about
next
this.
to you could all of a sudden turn into a Decepticon. Then you got real problems.
You and all your cons. Anyway, so hey, personal space is still a doggone thing, and we need to give it to each other.
Yep.
I'm always a big
Understand
fan of
age.
personal space anyway, but on the drinks,
I've given up. Like I have shrunk my. In America, we also have that personal space carries on into our vehicles. So let's just say we have like a 3-foot bubble that we kind of prefer to have around us when we're walking around. You get in your car, and I've noticed culturally, boom, that bubble gets 10 feet. And so people get upset when somebody's tailgating me, or they're too close to my space, or somebody shouldn't stay next to me. And I've started just saying, hey, I could let my space around my vehicle shrink a little bit.
Yeah, I can't do that. I don't like the people that also invade your space when you've got enough. Like I'm pulling a trailer that's got who knows what on the back, could be a tractor, could be whatever. And I've got the appropriate distance between me and the car in front of me. Mm-hmm. And I'm passing this line of cars, but then somebody decides, oh, I'm going to cut in here. And then now, oh, well, you're out of luck if I have to try to stop because I'm literally going to run you over.
Consequences. Yeah. And I would hate for that to happen. I do clean my windshield.
They probably deserved it because they weren't paying attention.
I hit my bug spray on my windshield anytime somebody gets too close behind me. Like, well, if you were further back, you wouldn't have it because they always get wet. You know, they have to turn on their wipers.
We did that back in the day with, like I had a Jeep or a Blazer or whatever it was, and you could turn that nozzle to where it shot straight back. So then you didn't have to do your windshield. You could just you just hear the back one right on their car.
Well, now it's just a mist that goes everywhere. If you're on,
but the mist, they could be like, "Oh, that guy's just cleaned his windshield."
It needs to be intentional, is what Matt's saying.
It's intentional when you hit it from the back and it all over.
I mean, they need to know it's intentional, is what.
So I guess I'm saying I have reduced my personal space limitations. I have less limitations on my vehicle, but I have more now on my person. And so don't come up next to me in the drink machine and just start going. There should be no contact.
Noted.
No contact.
Well, we're going to go sit down at a restaurant tomorrow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. Well, that's what's on my mind.
All right. Thank you, Chet.
Coming to you live from the Great Plains region of the country.
That's right. Hey, and if you want to see that video that he was talking about, you can go to livelocalict.com.
We'll put a link to it in the show notes, too.
Check out all of our videos on Great Plains food here in the area.
Midwestern restaurants.
But that's what got me going. It's like, this is a Midwestern thing. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a Midwestern thing.
Well, thanks for watching.
Not to say bad things about the chili and the cinnamon rolls. Fine. If that's what you want.
Yeah.
Then knock yourself out.
What?
Hit that button for some music to take us out.
Oh,
No, he's trying to think of something wise to say.
not really. I'm just going to say, you got to tell me. I don't just randomly push buttons. I'm going to play you out.
We're going to go to commercial break right now to hear from our sponsor, Admiral's Pennant.
At Admiral's Pennant, our mission is to offer the latest and refined, high-quality masculine products and services to the modern gentleman, as well as provide him with the tools and products necessary to look, act, and feel confident in his appearance and social interactions. Check it out at admiralspennant.com. Without it, you might as well shave.
And we are back.
We are back, and it is about time to jump into our top three favorite Christmas presents we got as a kid.
But before we do, I know you just heard a commercial about Admiral's Pennant Beard Oil. What you didn't hear is that there's some holiday pricing at admiralspennant.com.
There is. So from now to the end of the year, you get 25% off anything you buy and just use the code THANKYOU2021.
Awesome. That's a great price, by the way. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Top three.
Top three.
Christmas gifts you got as a kid.
Yep. Chet, why don't you go first?
My number 3 is actually the worst Christmas day I ever had.
Did you shoot your eye out, kid?
No.
Oh.
I was just, all of us at some point in time have our spoiled brat expectations. And we didn't have a whole lot of money growing up. And I had some expectations. I was probably, I don't know, 11 or 12. And I was wanting something, made it very clear, this is what I want for Christmas. This is, hey, no. And that was just one of those Christmases that we didn't get hardly anything. I got it was a Lego set, like a spaceship deal. And I threw a fit. Like I did. I was like a brat. I was very disrespectful for my parents. Stormed out of the unwrapping. Like, this is it. This is the last. This is all the present. It was a big deal. And left and stayed in my room for a long time. Everybody got everything cleaned up. My mom ended up dropping the presents off in my room. I was furious. I'm sure some tears were shed. I ended up just staying in there like hours and got bored. So I built a Lego set. Remember Little Spaceman? Because back then it was like basic Legos and then Spaceman Legos and then the castle Legos that, where you had the trees and whatnot. But anyway, my mom came in there and is like, "Oh, it's really cool. I want to get your picture because,
You weren't in any other pictures.
Right. Literally.
You little jerk.
And I refuse. I refuse.
I wonder if they got that reference.
I refuse. Like, I'm not taking a picture. Yeah, no. And then it got, like, my dad got involved. All of that to say is there's a picture of me in our Christmas album sitting on the floor, red-faced from crying, staring with the look of evil at the camera, me holding the spaceship Lego thing. And my mom laughed about it, put it in her Christmas album of all Christmases. It's one of the main pictures, and so anyway, great memories. I was a horrible kid sometimes, and I no longer have those Legos, but that will forever be remembered as a Christmas gift that I received. Number 2.
I mean, I would say shocker, but you just heard him rant about the Midwest, right? So right. I see a trend. He hasn't changed.
Oh, goodness. I have high standards.
Just stay out of his personal space.
The another number 2, bicycle. And I never got a bike any other time other than Christmas. But like the first time I remember getting a bicycle, it's like, how do you wrap one? So I just got a box, and ended up being a scavenger hunt all the way around our property, which was pretty cool. And then ended with me finding a bicycle. That was awesome. And it was like this was right after the movie like Rad had come out. You know what I'm talking about? Are you too young, Matt?
Yeah, I don't know that.
BMX bikes were pretty awesome back in the day. And this was close to it, but we didn't have any concrete where I grew up. I was way in the country. So, but I had all kinds of stuff, ramps and stuff I could do with ditches and all this deal. And I had a bike that I could actually do all that stuff with.
I had a Mongoose BMX bike.
Ooh, nice. I think mine was just like a Huffy.
Like that's about what mine was.
Anyway, number 3, wasn't really a kid, but my father-in-law bought me a Remington 870 for Christmas. First year of my marriage, which was pretty awesome.
You were still a kid.
Gift.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's good.
Yeah, that one was really good. And that one came at the end, like after everybody opened up all their gifts. He's like, "Oh, I forgot. I'll be right back." And he goes outside, comes back in with 2 boxes, one for me and one for Troy. We both got shotguns.
That was good. I was an adult by then, so I didn't put that on my list.
I can make up whatever I want to do.
Spoiled.
All right, I'll go next. Number 3 is a big wheel, but not just any big wheel. It was the General Lee.
Ooh.
The Dukes or Hazzard big wheel. You remember the big wheels? It had the really big wheel in the front and the 2 little ones in the back.
Hence the name Big Wheel.
The name Big Wheel. Yeah, well, they're different now. Or
I don't even know if they make them now.
Those. But yeah, I got the General Lee, and Ashley had little Daisy Dukes.
Yeah.
Little Jeep, white Jeep. Big wheel. So yeah.
Sweet.
Awesome. Let's see. Number 2 is when I got an X-Wing fighter.
X-Wing.
Yeah, there's a picture of me in a Christmas album book just flying that thing around with my little
Is that the one when you pushed on R2, the X-Wings?
Yeah, the wings
like
spread open. Yeah.
X-Wings are these aircraft that were in, these spaceships that were in this movie called Star Wars.
Are they shaped like X's?
Yes. Hence the name X-Wing.
Only after you pushed R2 down.
Yeah.
Then the wings separate.
That's when they're like in attack battle mode.
Yeah.
When they go in to the X. Yeah. If you're just listening, you're missing all the hand motions Chet's doing here. And then number 1 in 1989. Sega! I got an original Sega Genesis that came with Altered Beast. And you had to go purchase Sonic. It didn't come with Sonic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I played that thing. And I had some great games on it. Played that thing for years. It was pumped. That was my new entertainment system because I already had a Nintendo. So, yeah, those are my top 3.
Nice.
Hilarious.
How about you, Mr. Amos?
Well, funny thing happened over Thanksgiving. So my mom volunteers at the library in Hutch, and they get all these books in all the time that people are just dropping books off. Well, she goes, "You got to see this one that got dropped off," and so she brings it in, and it's not technically a book; it's a catalog, but it is a Sears catalog from 1992.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Take a look at this and just so see what was cool, when you were a kid in 1992." And I was like, Nintendo.
Yeah.
I already knew. So I opened it up, and I guess 91 or 90 or 91 was when regular Nintendo came out, and then Super Nintendo was like 92 because it was new. And guess how much that SNES cost
How much?
back in 92?
$400.
$99.
Oh, really?
Really?
Guess what the original Nintendo cost?
$99.
$89.
Ooh.
Wow.
I was like,
That's it?
that's it. But it seemed like so much more back in the day. So that would be number 3 was I got my
Super Nintendo?
I got my regular Nintendo because I played. We've been over that before, but I mean, I spent so many hours. Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Paperboy, just all those games, and I've spent a lot of time playing those games.
Yeah.
So that'd be number 3.
The original NES was released on July 15th, 1983. The original.
The Nintendo?
Yeah.
In the U.S.?
Yeah. Oh no, Japan.
That's what I thought. That's
I was
what
gonna say because
thought.
I don't think it came to the U.S. until at least.
I got mine in first grade, which was, what year was that?
Oh man,
You're 6, so I got mine in 85. Yeah, because I already had mine when I had
definitely
my,
wasn't 5 years old when I got my Nintendo.
I already had mine when I got my Sega.
But you grew up in the country and things just happened later.
That's right.
I grew up in the Midwest, and so things that supply chain gets a little slower.
But I did want to fact check you on that. So you're
Yeah,
welcome.
because you were way off. They didn't release Nintendos every year.
No.
Yeah.
But what I was saying was that's the first time I remember myself seeing the Nintendo or Super Nintendo was right around that time because I don't think I got it until I was 10, 11.
Yeah.
In the U.S., October 18th, 1985.
Makes sense.
So I was 4 years behind the game. Either way,
It's all good.
it was a great gift. Number 2. This is a tough one. But I think it was probably just a standard boombox that I got with CD player. Because
CD player?
CD player, and then it had the tape deck.
I went standard boombox was 100% tape deck from my age.
And mine.
But they got smaller, with better sound to where you could actually, instead of carrying it up here on your shoulder,
To listen to it.
to listen to it. But
Did you bring it to school?
no, I didn't bring it to school.
You didn't?
No, I had a Walkman for school.
I remember bringing one of mine to school. And we were, what was it? I had it was Billy Joel, like We Didn't Start the Fire. Like I was like introducing.
The first time I heard that song, I was my uncle has used to be a used car salesman. He's got his own dealerships now, but he would always bring some of the cars home and from the lot and drive them around. So the first time I ever heard We Didn't Start the Fire was in like an 80s model IROC Z28
Nice.
with T-tops. It was, I'll never forget that. That was pretty incredible. But that boombox, because I used to like play basketball, shoot hoops all night long. I'd be up till midnight, 1 a.m. just shooting hoops all summer long. Didn't matter. And then of course, as it got towards winter, we're actually playing basketball. I'd be out there and have to put salt water on the net because it was frozen up from the ice and rain, and so I could shoot. And I put that boombox out there and played to music.
What was your hype music?
I really didn't have any. I would just listen to the local radio stations at the time. I had some tapes, but I couldn't even tell you what they were anymore. I know Carmen was on some of them.
Rocky IV soundtrack. That's always a good one.
Well, of course, I had Rocky IV on VHS, but yeah. So I use that thing, and I still to this day have it, and it still works.
Oh,
Yeah?
nice.
Yeah. So that thing is actually was worth whatever they paid for it because it was still working. I think the
Still kicking.
CD player might be kind of jacked up, but
A little iffy.
that radio will still play. So that'd be number 2. Number 1 was one that I did not expect at all. But we got tickets. We were going through presents and ended up, I got tickets to a Chicago Bulls game in Chicago where the Bulls played the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, the Golden State Warriors. And I got to see Pippen, Rodman, Jordan. I think Kukoc was playing at the time. Paxson. John Paxson. Bill Cartwright. I got to see basically all those guys.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Play. It was awesome. And then, after the game, going over and, spending $40 on a burger at Michael Jordan's restaurant, and we took the train. So we drove to Newton and then got on the train in Newton, took the train up to Chicago. And then that's how we did the trip, and then saw the museums there and all that kind of stuff. It was pretty incredible.
Neat trip.
Very neat trip.
Did you get other gifts at that time?
Not very much. No, not at all. That was like
that was
the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those experience gifts are pretty neat.
Yeah. And that, looking back, when we came up with this, it was like, man, what are my favorite gifts from my childhood? Right. I was thinking about stuff that I still had, and that memory is one that I really still have. I really don't remember too many of the other ones. I've got baseball cards and stuff like that, but I really don't remember those as much as the experience.
Yeah.
So those would be my top 3.
Cool.
Very good.
All right, Troy, you're going to give us our good word for the day.
Yes, sir. So I heard an interesting quote the other day, and it has to deal with Christianity and how said Christians are supposed to act. And I think, especially in America, I think sometimes we forget, who we are representing as followers of Christ, and we kind of let the world dictate, how we handle our emotions and that sort of thing. And this quote that I want to read from William Barclay. I just want to read it. A Christian, excuse me. Okay, so
That was powerful.
That was
very
powerful pause.
Yeah. You should say
The effect.
You should excuse yourself after you clear your throat. That was.
Didn't I?
That's what you did.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's the quote. Excuse me.
Yes. Okay. Here's the quote.
And take 2.
All right. A Christianity whose effects stop at the church door is not much use to anyone. It should be even more visible in the ordinary activities of the world. Our Christianity should be visible in the way we treat a shop assistant across the counter, in the way we order a meal in a restaurant, in the way we treat our employees or serve our employer, in the way we play a game or drive or park a car, in the daily language we use, in the daily literature we read. As Christians, we should be just as much a Christian in the factory, the workshop, the shipyard, the mine, the schoolroom, the surgery, the kitchen, the golf course, and the playing field as we are in the church. Jesus did not say, "You are the light of the church." He said, "You are the light of the world." And in our lives, in the world, our Christianity should be evident to all. And so that kind of really hit home, especially knowing that he wrote that like 60 years ago. And I think that is even more prevalent today on how we should act out in the world, being not of the world, but being in the world. And Jesus said in Matthew 5, to be salt and to be light to shine a light, to get rid of darkness, and to be a salt. Because salt can be a preservative. It can be a seasoning. Just, it adds flavor. It adds things. It saves things. It helps things out. So, yeah, it was just a good reminder of how we're supposed to be in the world today.
Yeah, and I think that's I don't know, how embarrassing is it when you're with a fellow Christian and things don't go well and they cause a scene? Like, I don't know. That burns me up.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
At a soda fountain? I didn't know I was in your way.
Well, I mean, even I'm glad Chet brought that up today because
the spraying of the people behind me that probably,
because I think that story, I mean, kudos to you, Chet, for not like freaking out on dude, being like, dude, get out of my way. You know, I mean, that could have escalated into something horrible. But I think you handled it.
Well, yeah.
As anyone should.
I didn't realize this was in your way. No, you're good.
But he didn't do that.
No, that's what he said. He's like, oh no, you're
fine. No,
fine.
You're all right.
Yeah, and also, I mean, to people who I'm sure we have listeners out there who aren't Christians, and if you're listening to this, I think it's just a good thing to be. Just be polite and just shine positivity out in the world. You know.
Yeah, I ran an organization that had service people, like the customer service team, the people that you call when things are going wrong, and the amount of abuse that is dished out to people whose job is it to resolve an issue that they didn't cause is astounding. Like, how many times do we just lose our mind to someone, at someone whose actually only job is to help us, and they didn't cause the problem to begin with? That was so frustrating for the people in that organization. And, you know, God love all you people in customer service, no matter what industry you're in.
Oh yeah,
especially this time of year.
Yeah,
with supply chain disruptions and everything else.
Yeah. So if you're a believer, my goodness, that phone call ought to end, even though there's an issue, that person should be happy that they talked to you.
Yeah.
If you're going to be salt.
That brings me back. I remember one of the songs from DC Talk back in the day, and before the song, they always had, before this particular song, they always had it has a kind of a statement, and it says the single greatest cause of atheism in the world today is Christians.
Yep.
Who acknowledge Jesus with their lips, but go out into the world and I can't remember if it's get on with their lifestyle or get owned by their lifestyle. And I mean, that's exactly what you just said, because you could absolutely be that stumbling block for somebody that goes, well, why would I'm nicer than that person. They can't, why would I want to be a part of that?
Yeah. So many people don't go to church today because they've been either hurt by the church or they see other Christians and the way they act and they're no different. They're no different.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
I've found, just in the greeting that everybody gives that's not genuine, which typically they get ingenuine responses, but hey, how are you doing today? Like I'm about to check you out. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, how are you doing? Well, I'm doing fine. How are you doing? And they're shocked that you even ask them a question, but they're used to like, whatever. But, oh, fine, thank you.
Yeah.
There's a guy down here at the Burger King. Like that dude, have a blessed day.
Yeah, I finally got him.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, those small little interactions can they have an impact on people's day, positive and negative.
Yeah, because the girl at the checkout counter or the guy through the drive-through, you don't know what kind of day they've had. They could have had the worst day ever.
It doesn't matter.
But
you should be nice. Yeah.
No. But even then, when you are nice and they've had the worst day, it could turn their day around.
Yeah.
But if you're just a jerk or say nothing,
just going through the process.
Yeah, then you can either make an impact negatively or not make an impact at all. I'd rather make a positive impact.
Right.
So.
Me too.
Maybe I'll stop spraying people that tailgate me.
It's more passive aggressive.
That's still not good either.
They typically back off when you do that for their safety.
I mean, that's just the forewarning before Chet goes all postal and slams on the brakes.
I never brake check.
And then speeds up and then slows down, then speeds up and slows down. You know, a little juice. You could just be helping him out.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was out. I needed that. I've had that happen. Oh man, thanks.
All right.
Well, good deal. Thank you for the good word, Troy.
You were welcome.
I think it's time to go.
We out of here?
We're out of here.
So what are we going to do? We should let the people know that we've got a special episode coming up.
We're going to go live. We're going to do a live episode around Christmas time. And it's going to be fun.
Stay tuned.
So be sure you're watching Facebook for that link to come out. And when we go live, please feel free to log on and watch, ask questions, comment, talk smack to Chet.
We're going to try to interact with you as we go. So
we'll see how that goes.
It's going to be interesting. We never know how it's going to be.
You just realize that you just totally went against what Troy was saying. Talk smack to Chet.
It's
like,
all
Troy's like, be nice to everybody. You're like, oh, well, not Chet.
Well, you remember the first of this year, Matt was like, I'm going to turn a new leaf.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
I did online. Okay. Not one argument. Not one argument this year.
Cyberspace Matt has been really nice,
Hey,
but
we still got like 20 something days to go. So
Yeah.
I think I'm in the clear.
Yeah.
Unless the Omicrons get me.
Omicrons.
Whatever they are.
Omisarons.
Yes.
That's it.
That's my favorite Chinese dish.
All right.
I should have said it with my Japanese accent,
No.
which I don't have.
That one stunk.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to another exciting episode of Hardheaded. We hope you find our website, hardheadedpodcast.com. Click on the merch button if you want to buy some shirts, hats, pillows, all that kind of stuff. Also, drop a comment in the comments section
That's where people would go.
where you found this video or audio podcast. Hey, we'd love a review on wherever you're listening to this, Spotify, Apple. It helps us stay in front of new listeners, so we'd appreciate that. Hey, everybody, have a Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thank you.
Say it again.
Emerald's been at beer in a while. Without it, you might as well shave, okay?
I thought you were almost going for Mr. Mackey. Okay.
Okay, drugs are bad, okay?
Without a muscle shape, okay.